the best cream?
Good day, Internet.
Oh, hi, Internet.
Hey,
Hello,
Internet. No, it wasn't about ice cream.
Wrong.
Was it?
Should be ice cream. Always should be about ice cream.
If it wasn't about ice cream, wrong.
Well, I guess I'm wrong.
Should be.
Yeah.
I do love ice cream.
I got a new gadget.
Oh,
My sister
you?
got me this for my birthday. It is from some Chinese company named
is it the Oriental Trading Company?
Hi Lucky is the name of the company, but it's actually well reviewed. It's a solar powered battery charger.
Yes,
Oh, that's
yes,
fun.
yes.
Yeah. So you can power it by USB-C, of course, but you can unfold those panels and get a little extra juice out of it.
And that's your phone in there, or is that part of the converter?
No, that's the battery.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you'd
That's the
think
battery.
as thick as this thing is.
Yeah.
I was like,
but
what kind of phone is that?
no, it's
Yeah.
the battery, and then there's a solar panel on top
Nice.
of the battery, right? And then there's extra solar
How
panels.
how long does it say you would have to charge it in sunlight to get it?
I think for a full charge, it would be 30 hours in sunlight, which you can't get because the sun goes down.
Doesn't work
So you
that
can't
way.
really, you will eventually have to plug it in, but it'll keep it going longer than it would if you didn't have the sun.
Would you just put it on the dash when you're doing the
Tom,
desk
you
job?
mentioned your birthday. Did we forget your birthday?
No, it's this
No,
week.
you haven't
This
yet.
It's
Saturday.
this Saturday, right?
Don't be sad. I don't really care.
Don't
I'm
age
not
them
sad. I'm
unnecessarily.
just asking. I'm like, did I forget your birthday?
No, you did not.
Okay.
It happens this weekend, and boy, is the world ready for that.
Oh,
as soon
that's
as it
why
happens,
you're
I'll be-
going.
I'll be
you're going to
Scott's
hang
age.
out with your friends.
No, actually, it's weird.
Interesting.
It's weird. Brian was like, "Can you come that weekend?" I'm like, "It's my birthday. Can you have it another weekend?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "All right, fine. I'll do my birthday there."
I mean, you will be able to eat a lot of tacos.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's a pie coming because they already asked what kind of cake I like, and I said I don't like cake. I like pie.
Yeah, I like pie. Yeah, so you're gonna tacos, pie, friends.
Yeah.
Not a bad birthday.
Sounds
No,
all right.
it'll be fun.
A taco
Yeah,
pie.
I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds really good.
Wait, isn't that a? Oh, I'm thinking of taco pizza.
Yeah, they're thinking of the it's not
Taco
no-
pizza is definitely a thing. Taco pie. I feel like a taco is already kind of a pie.
Oh,
like a
I'm thinking of a
slice.
Frito
it's
pie.
sort of-
If it's
Oh,
a
Frito
taco,
pie.
Yeah,
soft
Frito
taco,
pie.
corn or flour, yes, it's like pizza laid out, right? You could do that. But a hard one, that thing's already in a shape.
I mean, a
that's-
tostada is kind of
No,
a.
I know
That's
that
true.
this is going to be a divisive statement.
Yeah.
I don't like hard shell tacos.
Oh,
It's not that I don't think they taste good. They're just messier than they have to be. I'm a soft taco person.
The
you know what?
algorithm is.
I used to be
if
like
most
you, Sarah.
people like it. Sarah doesn't like it.
I found out what you do is you take the hard shell
Come
taco
on now. Most people like a hard shell taco.
and then you wrap
Yes.
it with a
Is
soft
that
In the
tortilla
U.S. In the U.S. they
with
do.
a flour
Okay.
tortilla that keeps
Sorry,
everything in.
everybody.
I think
I like
Sarah's
soft tacos.
Sarah's makes
I'm
a
like
point
the
though.
Oscar the Grouch of,
No, if
penis,
I'm
like-
out and around,
I
like I
actually-
have some feelings for hard tacos, but if I go out somewhere and I want to get a taco and I see soft on the menu or it's like street style, I'll get it.
It's not unlike the way I feel about an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
I don't hate the cone. I'm
Yeah.
just like, it's just messy. It's going to crumble and get on my dress. And
I
no.
honestly used to be exactly like that, but L.A. rekindled my love of the hard shell taco because they do it so well.
I'll bet
Which
they
is
do.
funny because I'm like, where's the hard shell taco?
Oh,
I mean,
everywhere.
in my neighborhood, which is, I mean,
You're
taco
just-
stand on
you're
every
just
corner.
not
It's like,
asking.
I have been
tacos,
tempted.
maybe
I've been tempted once or twice to hit up one of those parking lot taquerias where they just set it up like in an empty parking lot.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do the
And
I
roadside
mean,
stand
it's
thing.
like literally on
Yeah.
every single corner.
And
of
I'm
my
thinking like, well,
neighborhood.
how do you
There's,
tell? Are they
competing
all
ones.
good, or are they just like you have to go by word of mouth, or do you have to dig online?
Oh, this taco sounds so good now.
You look at the
I know.
Guys,
line.
are killing me.
I want a skit where Sarah comes over for like a backyard barbecue, and they're like, "We've got bacon and tacos and watermelon and fried chicken."
I'm like,
Yeah.
You're like,
hard
Kit
shell
Kats,
tacos.
thanks.
I'm out of here.
Kit Kats. No?
Oh, I love Kit
Oh
Kats.
God, Kit
Yeah?
Kats! I
wrong
forgot
with Kit
that I hated
Kats?
them.
Nothing wrong with Kit Kats.
I don't know why I kept a catalog of all the things you hate.
Oh wait, do you like American Kit Kats or have you had the like Japanese Kit Kats? Because they're amazing. They're so good.
I don't like that.
Well, the
I
Japanese
don't like
ones
that.
sort of taste
that
It's the wafer thing, right?
the
That-
wafer
yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the
just-
chocolate
it's
that they
just-
use on the.
So what about
American one.
tricks? It's very
Love
simple.
tricks.
They're for kids.
Okay.
Love tricks.
Yeah, but they're not covered in chocolate.
But there's the
Not with that
caramel
attitude.
in the tricks.
Wait, caramel and Trix?
A Twix.
Oh, Twix.
No, Twix.
Twix.
Oh,
Oh,
Trix.
Twix. I thought you were saying tricks. Like
So
the
did I. I
cereal.
thought
I
cereal.
actually,
Twix.
I was saying tricks. I'm like, I love tricks.
Okay,
but
so I
meant
wasn't
Twix.
totally imagining.
Oh,
it.
but I'm thinking of the breakfast cereal with the rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tricks.
that's
Oh,
what you
Yeah,
said.
that's what I was
Kids.
no,
thinking.
I don't
Twix
eat
is something
cereal.
else.
And that's like
Twix.
caramel. When did they start putting caramel?
So the caramel in the Twix keep
Count
makes it
Chocula
acceptable.
tricks
Okay.
with caramel. No, I don't eat.
Do you do you like right or left Twix?
You go with the right one or the left one. This has no bearing
I
on
never
your
really
political
understood that
stances.
marketing thing where I'm like,
No,
I
me
don't know.
No, yeah.
either.
And,
I think
and the
it's
awful,
kind of funny though because it
the
doesn't.
funny
'cause
secret
it's so
is it's
ridiculous.
actually just made in one long bar, and they chop, 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 chop.
Yeah.
So there really
No,
is
they
no
make right and left ones. I saw it on their commercial, Roger.
Twix,
wouldn't lie, would
Twix,
they?
big
Listen.
fan of. Rolos.
Do you like?
Love a good
Oh,
Rolo.
you know, Rolos are only good once you get to the center. The
I
outsides
forget
are
about
kinda not that great.
Rolos.
What? Roger,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? No, they're good
Junior
at
mints.
all times,
Ooh,
and they're just
Junior
fun
mints.
to unwrap.
They're good at
Junior
all times.
mints.
Junior-
I'm into
Oh.
that.
Let me ask you, anyone have
mints.
Score? I still like Score. I know they were supposed to be
I forgot all
sophisticated
about
chocolate bars, but
Score.
I didn't
never
know
li-
scores
I-
were still a thing. Can you
I
still
always
get
felt
them?
like the Score. I was like, it's like
Score
for like
is
adults.
an inferior version of other better
2 minute
versions of
warning.
itself,
2
but you
minutes.
can never find those other versions.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
perfectly
and it's
acceptable.
cheaper. Oh,
Yeah, it's
cheaper.
way cheaper.
Oh my gosh, you can get a pack of 18 on Amazon for $30. That seems like that means they're rare now.
I had
in
the
regular
worst
places.
Amazon experience today.
Oh,
did?
what about 100 grand?
I was trying to order Band-Aids to be delivered today because I wanted to save time and not go to the store.
Yeah.
And it kept trying to deliver them to my sister-in-law in the Bay Area.
It wouldn't take your changes. It wouldn't let you.
Every
adjust
time
it?
I tried to check out, it's like, so sending these to Kristen in San Jose. I'm like, no, maybe she needs Band-Aids, but I'm not buying them for her. She could buy her own Band-Aids.
Yeah, that sounds like the thing I accidentally sent to Chicago. I was so mad at
Took
them.
me 10
Oh, did you
minutes
send
to
them
get
a
it to
deep dish
send them to
pizza
me.
and said, "Oh, I'm sorry"?
No, I wish.
Oh, also, when they thought they were going to send them to Kristen, they were going to arrive by 3 p.m. But when I finally got it to send them to me, they're like, oh, yeah, you won't get those till tomorrow morning.
I'm bleeding out.
I'd be mad. I guess you were mad. You're probably mad.
I was a little mad.
Yeah.
One
I was
minute.
like, I could have just gone over to the grocery store and bought them by now. Why did I bother?
Yeah,
remember when we were-
I have that situation with a lot of stuff on Amazon. Subscribe and save. Shout out to you. Where I'm just like I just never think about like, am I running out of paper towels? No, I have a box of them. They come every couple months.
Constantly
you know?
refilled. Yeah.
Constantly refilled. But then there's always that like
36.
Band-Aid or, I don't know. Right now I'm
don't
out
have
of
anything I
laundry detergent.
Use at a uniform enough rate to do subscribe and save for.
That's how I feel. And then my wife says, "Oh, try me," and then she finds something that we need.
Maybe I need Kim to handle my ordering.
Yeah. Although I have questions about whether the subscribe and saves we currently have are necessary, but whatever. I love my wife. I trust her. It's fine.
Yeah, I had to
Have
actually take
a good show, everybody.
Good day, Internet. This is DTNS Live for Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. From Studio Animal House, I'm Sarah Lane.
From Studio 7 in Los Angeles, I'm Tom Merritt.
From the Frog Pants Studios in Salt Lake City, I'm Scott Johnson.
And wearing pants, I'm the show's producer, Roger Chang.
Finally. DTNS Live is made possible by you. Thank you for supporting Roger's ability to buy pants, including Miranda Janelle, That Charlie Dude, Justin Zellers, and a brand new patron named Todd.
Hey,
Thank you, Todd.
Well done, Todd. Woo.
It was
Todd,
pretty close.
whether you're wearing pants or not, we are glad to have you along for the ride.
These
That's
pants
right.
are for you.
These pants. Yeah, it wouldn't have been possible without you, Todd.
I was about to ask everybody, like, are we all wearing pants? But you know what? Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
really
We live in a free society.
Oh, I thought Tom was
Yeah.
going to reach around off the shelf and grab
Oh,
his
look at
pants.
that. Yeah.
I am. I'm reaching down to my legs and showing you my pants.
It's like, does Tom really have a pair of pants on that bookcase? Come on.
What if that was
getting
the one
ridiculous.
thing I could not produce? Like, actually, no, I won't be standing up. Sorry.
Well,
Amazing.
I mean, that's the beauty of the show, you know? It's
never know.
waist and up. Welcome to DTNS Live, everyone. Whether you're wearing pants or not, we are glad to have you along. This is the show where we discuss the tech news to help us all understand it a little bit better. Scott Johnson, how are you doing?
You know what? I'm doing okay, actually. I got a nice little trip planned for this weekend. Happens to be the same weekend Tom celebrates his birthday, so in a way, I'm in a proxy sort of way celebrating Tom's birthday is how
Are
I'm
you
looking at it.
coming to surprise me, Scott?
Honestly, I wish I was. Instead, I'm going to very hot Las Vegas to see a concert I've had tickets for 6 months.
Ooh,
But
what's the concert?
we're going to go see Deadmau5 at the Wynn.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
How
gonna be
about
good.
you? Look at you.
Talk about
Cool,
fancy.
Dad.
the win is very apropos.
Yeah, it's very fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
win.
I'm looking forward to getting real hot, using a pool. It'd be
Do
a
you have,
first
like- do you have, like, a
semi-vacation in a while.
Do you have a fun, like, mid-aughts outfit to wear?
No, that's a good question. We were told we have to wear dark pants and a button down of some. They want you fancy in this place a little bit.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
There's
it's
like
not
a
like
dress
can you-
code for the Deadmau5 concert?
yeah for Deadmau5 concert.
Can you bring your own DIY dead mouse head?
Like,
Helmet?
dress to impress,
Helmet.
okay?
If I had one of those helmets, I would. I don't.
Go
But
cosplay, yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna try to look good, feel good.
be
It's
Scott
in more of a
Mouse.
nightclubs type environment. So it's a little
I
bit of
see.
a fancy affair, and I'm kind of excited, but also a little bit
You can
nervous.
bring out your gold chains.
It's going to be so fun.
It's weird to be
Yeah.
nervous about a thing like that, but anyway.
If
We're
you
going.
were closer, I would lend you my Caesar's gold chain medallion that
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't even remember where I got. Probably at
It's
CES
probably
at
in your
some point.
bookcase behind you.
Is that supposed
It's
to
in
bring
my
you good luck or
briefcase
something?
over there, actually.
Is that a good luck thing wearing that, or what's that do for you?
No, but it would be a gold chain that you could
Oh.
wear, and it
Oh.
would be all fancy.
Okay, I'm in. Shoot, next time we'll plan this better.
Listen, it's dress to impress, Scott. You want the chain,
Yeah, we'll
you
see how it
know,
goes.
as you're rocking out to Deadmau5. Well, that sounds fun. If anyone's out there being like, I'm also doing something fun this summer, let us know. While you're thinking about that, if you're listening live, you can also name this episode. You can head over to dtns.showbot.tv right now, submit titles, and vote on them. Nothing there yet because we haven't started the show yet. But as we go through a lot of show stories, then you can get inspired.
Actually, there's
All right,
five.
all
There's
right, who's
five
laughing at
titles.
me?
There's 5 titles, and one of them is first.
That's one of the titles already.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
speaking of
it's-
early aughts, that's fantastic.
You are first.
Yeah,
so
good job,
good for
guys.
you. Good for you. We will check back, though, at the end to look at all the votes and submissions and pick a show title. It might be yours. Now, let's kick it off with a few stories that caught our eye today.
Amsterdam's Fairphone has launched its first new phone in 2 years, the Fairphone Generation 6. You'll see everybody call it Fairphone 6, but Fairphone's trying to get people to just call it a Fairphone. It has 53 hours of battery life, no glued parts inside, just screws, so you can replace 12 of the components. The Android 15 Fairphone Gen 6 is available now for €599.
I want one. I don't know why I want one. It's because you showed it to me this morning.
Because
and
they're
I got,
repairable. And
That's
they're
it.
nice
Yeah,
looking.
you can take it
Yeah.
apart and put it back together.
And it's not super crazy expensive.
and it looks cool. It doesn't look
Yeah.
janky like the other sort of
It's
DIY
got
stuff.
decent specs too. It's got a Snapdragon S3 in it, and 256 gigs storage. All the,
Yeah.
it's a decent. It's a good mid-range phone.
If you're part of the anti-glue community, this is the phone for you.
The AG, yeah,
Anybody who's ever tried to take a phone apart is part of the anti-glue.
that's just a good point.
Indeed. Google unveiled Gemini CLI, which is an open source command line AI tool that connects to Gemini models directly to developer terminals. It's meant for natural language coding tasks. debugging, feature creation, command execution, and the like, but also has broader functions like video generation and research using Google's AI toolkit. It's available through the Apache 2.0 license with free usage limits to encourage adoption.
Yeah, this is Google getting into the CLI game, which there's one from OpenAI, there's one from Anthropic. So it's something they needed to do. A lot of people wanted them to do so they could get it direct. And putting it out under the Apache license is pretty permissive, so that's cool.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that lately. I think there's no way you can't avoid this, though, right? Like it's not like you can. How do I put this? The AI stuff is so broad, and everybody's integrating it into everything. If you don't make sure you have some footprint in the open space as well as your little walled garden space and everything in between, you're not going to win this, whatever this AI war
Well,
is.
especially because they want coders, they want developers to use this, and so to encourage adoption, like Sarah said, they're making it cheap to use and free to modify.
Yep.
On a different note, Intel announced that it was cutting 107 positions across 4 facilities in the Santa Clara, California Bay Area. The company will also close its automotive division and let go most of that unit's employees. The goals are part of a broader strategy by new CEO Lipal Bhutan to cut positions by 20% to help return the company back to profitability. Give you an idea of how much they've cut so far. The company had around 125,000 people headcount-wise back in 2023. Today, it's around 109,000.
So still a lot of employees.
A lot of employees, but they are definitely looking to prune the employment tree, as it were.
Yeah. Automotive division. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, Intel's been going
microchips
through
are in
it.
everything, but
I mean, it's in
Intel-
everything, and it was something that was sort of a hot flavor of the month for the company like 8 years back, but it is not a core element of the company's business.
All right. Well, those are the top 3 stories that caught our eye today, but stick around. There's more. In fact, keeping on the automotive theme today, several major automakers, including Audi, Mercedes-Benz, Volvo, Polestar, and Renault, say that they will not support CarPlay Ultra. If you're like, what's that? That's Apple's next-gen in-car system. It rolled out with a partnership with Aston Martin, very splashy. We're going to, take over cars, et cetera, et cetera. Porsche also on board. They both have current deals, Aston Martin and Porsche do, with Apple for CarPlay Ultra. However, it does not seem like a lot of other car makers are chomping at the bits. They want to monetize their own in-car services, proprietary systems, and their own subscription models.
Yeah, we're going to have to get to Bodie Grimm or Tim Stevens or somebody to see if they understand what is going on behind the scenes that is keeping this from happening. Because there's all kinds of theories floating around out there. And even this Financial Times article didn't really make clear, like, what's the real dispute? I know it's about data and data sharing, but Aston Martin seems to feel like, no, we just made clear what data we wanted to keep for ourselves at the beginning and it was fine. So it's not that simple. It reeks to me of like, there's just a misunderstanding, and that's a very Apple thing about, who gets to do what with what. And as a person who drives cars and enjoys both Android Auto and CarPlay, I'm like, well, just give me CarPlay then, because I that works. So I'll take that. If you can't figure out how to put the off button for the radio in CarPlay, then forget it. I'll just do that the old-fashioned way with a physical knob, which I think I might prefer.
How much of this is, do you think, just a unified front of other car makers saying we don't want one brand having?
I think that's a big part of it.
In-car entertainment system monopoly, basically.
Listen, I am a Volvo owner. I love my Volvo. CarPlay, big part of the Volvo, but I don't need to use it. Volvo has its own, infotainment, everything going on. And I can only imagine that behind the scenes at many of these car manufacturers, just people being like, no. I mean, you give everything to Apple. It's like, what's even the point of having something that feels very unique and individual, which is why people buy cars in the first place.
Sure.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's around branding more than the data. I mean, granted, it's about the data, but seems like at least Aston Martin was able to figure that out. So that's figure outable, if that's a word. But you know what Apple does love to do? Make sure that Apple logo sticks around everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And what car makers would like to do would be like, great, we'll do CarPlay Ultra, but it has to look like Mercedes. And Apple's like, nah, I think it actually needs to look like
no.
Apple. You know, and I can see that being a big point of contention.
I hadn't thought
can
about
you,
that.
Can you imagine being like, I love the iPhone, but I want it to be like very individual to me.
Yeah.
I'm not a car manufacturer, but I mean, I feel like that's kind of what we're talking about right now.
Well, it's taken Apple, 17 models to let you finally start to sort of customize how things look to you, and like the last couple of versions anyway. I think they are very resistant to that. I think they think they're the smartest designers in the room. They may be. But at the end of the day, people like to be able to have a little more control. And car manufacturers, especially, I would say, luxury lines or new fancy end, electrics that have got all the bells and whistles, they're going to want to have more control over that vibe. And the overall vibe may clash with something like a single, phone maker shoving their OS down their throat. So I kind of get where they're coming from.
It's it's two different industries that are very, very covetous of how they manage and develop the experience of their product. And one is an electronics company, the other one is an automobile, but they don't. If you want a Mercedes, you expect a certain level of Mercedes comfort, performance, but also stylistically, everything just feels the same, which is why so many car makers, even though they use the same electronic switches for their HVAC in the car, some of the transmissions are the same.
Yeah,
they tweak it a little bit so it feels like I'm driving a Rolls Royce, even though it's a BMW transmission.
Yeah, it needs to be the
100%.
Volvo visual language or
Well,
whatever, right?
and even let's just say, and I'm a CarPlay fan myself. I like CarPlay, and I'm like, CarPlay Ultra, great. Let's get Volvo on board. Volvo apparently not on board, not at this point anyway. But it also turns into the sort of experience of like, oh, I'm sitting in the driver's seat. Yeah, this looks like the car I had before and the car I had before that, and they're all sort of the same car. Now, you could argue like, well, aerodynamics made all cars kind of look the same on the outside. They used to be very different, and now they kind of all look the same. That's true. But I can see as an automaker, you want to push back on anything that does not make you feel unique and special.
Yeah, especially because the fact that cars tend to look very similar, right? Having that Volvo logo stamped on the side of the car becomes even more important. So I can imagine having that Volvo logo be the only thing that shows up on your dash when you boot up your car is also really important. And Apple's like, we need to have that white Apple logo show up as well. And I'm not saying that I know that that's what the problem is, but I can imagine that being a bigger problem. And Apple specifically being the kind of company that they're not QNX. QNX has been making embedded systems for cars forever, and they don't care. They're like, yes, put whatever name you want on it. They're not even Android Auto, which can be like, yeah, we'll provide you the operating system, and then you can build on it and do whatever you want. They're Apple, and Apple really wants you to know that you're using Apple when you're using it.
Yeah. I did an embarrassing thing this year that I'm not really proud of. We've had our car since 2018. And I always thought we were just stuck with this. It was actually a Sony branded thing inside of this Volkswagen, this Passat we have. And I thought, well, that's just the infotainment thing we're stuck with.
Sony branded.
Yeah, Sony makes it or something, or it's something. It's got Sony's name in there. Anyway,
Sure.
we've used it and it's been fine, but it's not great, and sometimes it loses connections and it's kind of clunky, and I don't love it. And it wasn't until this year, so that many years into this, that I clicked something and it flipped over to CarPlay, and I had that. I had access to that the whole time, and never knew. And so I was always just like, I love this car. I hate the infotainment, but I'm okay because I love this car. I'll deal with it. It's not that big a deal, right? Like once I'm Bluetooth up on music and it's playing, then we're good and who cares? But once it finally clicked over, I went, I've had this choice the whole time. How dumb am I?
Larry in Atlanta wrote RTFM.
Yeah. It's not wrong. I really am annoyed by it. So don't be like me. Find out what your car can do before you accidentally find out 8 years later. All right.
By the way, if anybody's a little confused, we should point out that CarPlay and CarPlay Ultra are two different things. CarPlay is the thing that shows up in the infotainment screen that really is just mirroring your iPhone in an interface that works better on a
it's like
car's
you want to play a
in-dash screen.
podcast, you want to respond to a message, that kind
But
of
that's
stuff.
all coming from your phone, and it's just that screen. CarPlay Ultra is the entire dash. It's running on the car. It can also do the mirroring your phone stuff, but it's like controlling aspects of the car.
Is it the same as
Is
it Android
odometer,
Auto versus Android Automotive, or is it
Yes, and I think I used the wrong one earlier, so I'm glad you pointed that out. Android Automotive is the one that runs the car's dash, and Android Auto is the one that mirrors the phone.
Okay, there you go. It throws me every time too, so
Yeah.
don't feel bad.
And then Android TV is the one that runs your TV, but Google TV is the interface that, anyway.
Yeah, HBO Max Junior, go. I get it. It's all messed up.
Max, HBO Now, HBO Go.
There you go.
Ultra.
HBO Ultra coming soon.
HBO Ultra, when is that coming, please?
You heard it here first.
The best movies. Only
That's
on
what they
HBO
should start
Ultra.
calling. Yes. When are the streaming services going to stop using Plus and start using Ultra to try to?
I'm in. Do it. Yeah.
I mean, somebody's got to stop using.
Maybe we should
Plus.
change.
Oh,
we should
they
change
should
this
go-
to DTNS Ultra.
Yeah. I like it.
DTNS Ultra.
They should bring back what was the one?
like live. What is it? Live tired. Ultra wired.
Ultra wired.
Do what they do for pay-per-view events. Call it Premiere, right? Like
Oh, I like that.
DTNS Premiere, right? That's like that's Velvet Rope access.
Yeah, sign me up.
Premium.
That's
Premium.
our Patreon. You get the premiere access.
They
fancy.
actually are already the premier.
Jump the
folks.
line.
Okay, so let's talk about microphones. We all use them on this show, and there's a new model that's even smaller and more unobtrusive. Tell us
Yeah,
about
I know
it,
a lot of
Tom.
people want us to talk about gear more often, and this is the kind of gear we can talk about well because it's the kind of gear we use. Insta360 announced a new wearable wireless mic called the Mic Air. It's round, about the size of an Apple AirTag or quarter, depending on how old you are. That will make sense. Weighs about 7.9 grams, gets up to 10 hours of battery life, has a 300-meter range, and a button on the mic can activate noise canceling or start and stop your recording. So if you're doing a single person shoot, you can control it from the mic. Connects to Insta360 cams over Bluetooth. Otherwise, you'll need a receiver, though the company says wider Bluetooth compatibility is coming. You can get it for $70 bundled with the USB-C receiver. That way you can just plug the receiver into your phone and go to town. If you just want the individual mic, maybe you already have an Insta360 cam you're going to use it with, that costs you $50. Now, Scott, I know you're an Insta360 cam user. Are you excited by this little tiny magnet mic?
I actually am, and it's mostly based on the good experience I've had with two recent models of their cameras. I use the the name just escaped me. Let's see if we can find it real quick. Here it is. It is the Insta360 Link 2 is what I have, and it does a bunch of features and functions that I absolutely love the way this thing works. And been
That's
very
not
happy
the one
with
you're
it.
using right now, is it?
It is the one I'm using right now. Yes.
Oh, wow. That looks really good.
Now the Link 2 or the Link 1 I had prior to this, and it had a few less features, but was also pretty robust. I really like both these cameras a lot. I still use one over there. The biggest use case I found for it is I have a lot of remote control on this thing. So if I'm doing a show and I realize, oh shoot, my framing is off, I can do it in real time. I don't have to touch the camera. I don't have to move anything. It's all on a big 360 swivel, as you may imagine from the name. But they're functionality, ease of use, performance, all of those things have been exactly what was promised. The price wasn't too bad, and I kind of dumped everything else for it. I like it that much. So to hear they're making more gear that isn't just part of their, GoPro competition, which is kind of where they got their, their initial blast, is exciting to me. I think there's lots of room for more stuff. I'd like to see a company like them do more Elgato stuff. Like, I'd love to see competitors from them for, say, the Stream Deck or things like their key lighting systems or any of these things. These little like creator-friendly and somewhat affordable, but also a little bit better than the average kind of product. I think there's big room for competition, and I think they should do more. So for in this case in particular, I'm very excited about this because I do enough like take it on the road remote stuff that, I would love a little boost in that department. So, and I like them and I trust them. So I would definitely try one of these.
They're a Chinese company. That doesn't bother you, right?
No, I don't care. I got a lot of Chinese friends.
They work well.
I mean, part of this, it reminds me of, for those of us who have been in broadcasting for some time, it's like, the lavalier mic. I mean, this could, not in every single instance, but, in many cases, it's like, okay, I've got a big mic in front of me right now because this is my kind of podcasting station. But something like the new Insta360 mic Air, something that I can kind of have on my person, somewhat unobtrusive. I mean, sure, there's a mic there. It's not like you want it to be totally hidden or anything, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it'll connect to that camera I was mentioning. That's the other cool thing is this thing will...
Oh, yeah, you don't have to use the hub or the little receiver. Yeah.
Yeah, and it does like a little... this camera, I should mention, does this thing where I could stand up back here if I set it to, and it would follow me around. It would keep me in frame and kind of let me do presentation style things you would do in like in a garage or a teacher's doing with a big board or something. This mic will work with that scenario so that you're all sort of connected to the same thing and jiving with each of those products. I don't know about the previous model of this camera, but this one will definitely work with this mic.
Yeah, these little mics are getting really good. The DJI, the Mic Mini, is the one that was the most favored amongst people I saw going around CES this year. It seems to be Rob Dunwood has one, Amos had one, a bunch of other people have those. They have like a fuzzy little like mic sock thing at the top, so they're really easy to identify if somebody's using them. But then there's also the Rode Wireless Go 2. Shure has its Move mic. These are all little clip-on things. The Rode one is kind of the bulkiest. The Rode and the Shure are somewhat bulky, and this new Insta360 is the lightest weight looking one. But Jen Cutter on the briefing this morning was like, why do they have to splatter Insta360 across the front of it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's so small, you probably won't really notice it if you're doing a video. But it is, after she said that, I can't not see it, that it's like got big white letters on it.
It's
very branded.
It's branding, right? Yeah. It's the same
No,
reason
I
why.
get that it's branding, but does it bother you to be like, oh, I don't want that showing?
The DJI one has big old DJI on the front, but you've also got that fuzzy hat that kind of obscures it a little bit.
Well, that's why you have gaffer's tape, right? It's there for multiple reasons,
that's why we have
including
gaffers that cover up
things
logos. I love it. I love that. But also, so I have these
spoken like a producer. That's the solution.
The bottom line for any of these for me is sound quality. So that is where it will live and die. If it doesn't sound amazing, I don't care how small it gets. I'm not getting it.
And ideally, it should sound good in a variety of situations, whether you're in a loud, like say exposition room where you have a bunch of vendors or stuff, or you're just talking to someone in the hallway. Like you should,
or you're outside and it's windy.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this does have the noise cancellation on it, so that's good.
The camera's got some AI.
Again, haven't tried it, so I don't know how well it works.
Camera has some AI assisted stuff. I assume that this thing is going to be. It probably have some of that where it'll be like noise reduction is based on a quick sampling of your environment, and then it will adjust accordingly.
10 hours on a charge too.
It's good.
And I will say, as someone who's done way too much video editing, generally I would prefer all that smarts to come in the post processing rather than in the camera, because if you have AI that's filtering out the audio because it's windy, and you try to pair it up in another, like in a longer, say, documentary or interview, you don't want too much of a mismatch between the audio. And so if you can kind of maintain it at like a base level and then add the tweaks after the fact, so it's like you all work from the same blank sheet instead of giving you lined paper on one and then blank sheet on another and then colored paper on another.
Yeah, somebody one day is going to make these so good that the sound coming out of them is as good as these studio mics. Whoever does that first is going to own the business.
That is a tall.
Can you imagine?
Order.
I mean, it's a tall order, and it's probably a long ways off.
There are manufacturers of mics right now that claim exactly that.
They claim
it's
it.
Just as good.
I mean, what are the headset ones? The country, the ones that you wear as Countryman.
Oh, yeah,
those are considered like one of the best. Like
Mm-hmm.
in terms of just having a small transducer, but still giving you a very.
They used to be. I don't know if they're still the best.
Yeah.
Do you? Like, I haven't.
I
been in
mean,
that
this is
situation
5
in a
years
while.
ago. People were still
Yeah,
singing
yeah.
its praises. Like that was still the one to compare against. But again, that was 5 years ago. So
A lot changes in 5 years.
it's true.
Yeah.
A lot
Kids get
changes in
taller,
8 years when you
they
realize
eat
your
more.
car could have done Apple Play the entire time, CarPlay the entire time. That's how fast things change. You never know.
5 years ago, I was sitting right here doing the show, so not that much change.
Not much changes.
A lot of things have
Actually, me
changed
too.
around me. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, if you would like to tell us about what changed for you in the past 5 years, get in touch with us on social media. Have you heard of it? It's the hot new way the kids are talking to each other. DTNS Show is our handle on X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and Mastodon, unless you're on TikTok or YouTube, in which case you can find us at Daily Tech News Show.
All right, Scott. Yesterday, Meta announced it's releasing a limited edition of the Quest 3S with Xbox branding. We talked about it very briefly, but we were very excited for you to come on today to tell us more about how you feel about the branding and the details.
Well, here are some of those details. This is a bundle, all right, and it comes with a Quest 3S headset, which is already a device. That's a thing you can buy on its own. However, this is got the Elite strap included. It's got Touch Plus controllers and an Xbox wireless controller, a Series S and X style wireless controller. It's got some green accents on it, some other stuff to differentiate it, but it's essentially that controller. Microsoft launched the Xbox app for the Quest in 2023, so that was already a thing you could do on your Quest. So, in fact, if you have a 3S, you might even already have the Xbox Game Pass app on there. Users can also access cloud gaming through Game Pass Ultimate, which currently has about 100 titles or so supported. They're adding more all the time. So that's kind of the gist of it. This edition of the Quest 3S will come with 3 months of Game Pass included. So that's kind of cool. Also 3 months of Meta Horizon Plus. It's also available now for $399.99 for a limited time, and we will circle back to that limited time thing here in a minute. But I've got a lot of questions, people asking me, what is this about? Is this a Microsoft headset? No. This is a Meta headset. This is their Quest 3S, literally, and it is branded with Xbox stuff and a couple other perks. But for the most part, if you already have a 3S and you're not worried about collecting them all, I don't think you have much to worry about. You essentially have this device. If you want this device, or if you've been on the waiting list of like, I don't know if I should get a VR headset, maybe this is the time, and you're a big Xbox fan, no reason not to grab it now because you're going to pay roughly the same price. You're going to get a couple of perks and extras, including that controller and the better strap, but essentially you're going to be buying, the Quest 3S. But this follows a pattern we've been seeing from Microsoft over the last couple of months, and that is to say, they are doing things for the company or for Xbox, the brand, that are going to get it in more hands and more places. Like they've said for years, we want you to be able to play anywhere. It's their big push. So that is exactly what they're doing here. And they're saying, well, why not a headset? Why not a little VR? And why not Game Pass within VR? Now, remember, this doesn't mean you're suddenly going to be able to play Halo Ultimate or Infinite in VR mode. What this means is you'll be able to have a big virtual screen with somewhat surroundy style, think of it as like going to a movie theater with a good wraparound screen, IMAX or whatever. And you can play Halo Infinite that way, which is a pretty intense way to play it. But this isn't you in a VR space inside the world of Halo. You're playing Halo on what is essentially a virtual flat screen in front of you. And that'll be true for all the Game Pass games. It's a cool way to play them. I've tried this. Works great. It's not the kind of thing I can do for very long. Kind of gives my eyes trouble. But for a lot of people, this is a great way to play the thing. And it really is just an inch or two away from what they're doing with Asus, except in the Asus case with the Rally X device, the handheld device coming out this fall that we've talked about last week, that device is not a limited time only thing. That is a device that in theory could, we don't know this for sure, but we could see future models of this thing and see iterations of it and the Rally X2s and 3s and 4s and that sort of thing moving into the future. But it's still a collaboration with another manufacturer who already makes a thing. And in this case, it's Microsoft painting it like it's theirs, not claiming it, but painting it like it's theirs and telling you to pick it up and play Game Pass on it. The fact that it's limited time tells me that this is a little more ephemeral. and is more of a one-off and is not the kind of thing you can expect them to have a many-year relationship with Meta building headsets. I think this is probably more of a one-off. But I do predict you're going to see more of this. This isn't where it ends. You're going to see, if my prediction's correct, you're going to see a major gaming PC manufacturer. Don't know who, couldn't tell you. It could be Falcon Northwest, it could be Dell, it could be anybody. But somebody's going to partner with Microsoft. Probably somebody they already work with well. And they're going to make Xbox-branded power user PC, gaming PCs, that are just covered in Xbox stuff, are really geared toward that Xbox experience, Game Pass, all the things that you're seeing from all these other announcements we've seen recently. If that doesn't happen, I'll eat my hat. I think that's coming. But again, it's not a Microsoft product per se. It's a Microsoft deal. It's a Microsoft name. It's all the colors. It's all the logos. It's all of that. But it's just I feel like kind of a way of saying, hey, people who love our brand, we're not getting weird and just saying play our games on everything from your fridge to your microwave. We're saying here's our version of the fridge. It's got our name on it. Go ahead and play it on that fridge for a while.
I think they're doing both.
Ooh, I want an Xbox fridge.
They are doing both because they do have a new console coming.
Fridge, but I was thinking the bigger one.
I have that one right over here. But Sarah's right. The Xbox brand of actual branded consoles manufactured by Microsoft are still going to come. That's still a thing they have a next generation plan for. But they look more, like we've talked about on the show, more and more like PCs, and it will still be a great way you can do it. But they really want this feeling that doesn't matter who I'm on, what platform I'm messing with, I can play my stuff on there. And it's going to get to the point where the two biggest holdouts are Nintendo, because they don't want this. They do not want them on there. They don't want them anywhere near it. Microsoft would love it, but they don't want them on their Switch devices. And the other is Apple, who currently you can get around it a little bit because you can do it through a browser and run Game Pass. But there's no native app for Game Pass on iOS because of the whole buying thing and whatever. Maybe some of the stuff
because of the revenue share. Apple's like, you can do it. You just have to give us X amount of percentage of your income. If you
exactly. It's the fight they have with Epic and with Amazon and with everybody else. Same fight. But I think it is interesting, though, if every other possible playing device has Microsoft stuff going on, and in these cases, branded Microsoft stuff going on, and Apple's still like, you still got to live by our rules or whatever. I mean, it may be the final straw. I don't know. Maybe it makes Apple's camel buckle. I don't know. I don't know how that turns out. I just know that that's what Microsoft wants.
Do camels buckle?
They buckle
if you
all the time.
put one too many straws on their back, they do.
Yeah.
That was my reference, but I did it very poorly.
Okay.
That was very bad.
Straws.
Thank you, Tom, for digging me out of that hole. But anyway, this headset in a nutshell, and I'd love to hear what everyone's take on this is, especially Sarah, who loves a little VR in her life. Mm-hmm. This is two things. It's interesting because it's Microsoft doing a thing with a quote unquote competitor in other areas, Meta, and joining forces for a limited time on a thing, but really it's just a 3S underneath the hood anyway. And so is it really all that different? As a user of VR, this probably doesn't move the needle for you much. You wouldn't want to run out and grab this, I assume.
Not really, but I'm not really, listen, if I get a new, I don't know, I mean, use the iPhone as an example, because we've been talking about Apple. It's like my current iPhone is not gold, and I'm a gold iPhone person. Now, does this iPhone do anything wrong? No, certainly not. But the branding does actually matter to a point, right? At the same time, there are people who will buy, a variety of laptops because they just look cool. It's stuff under the hood, all there, but it's what it looks like. It's fashion. It's fashion.
Sure.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And what I think about this is like, man, you're talking about sort of VR fashion, and I just don't know how much anyone else is going to get anything out of, the fact that you're like, I got the cool Xbox One.
Yeah. I mean, you are if your entire focus of that machine is because you want to have a headset on your head and be on your bed and not move and not everyone bug you and be surrounded by your
bed.
Well, wherever you are, your couch, whatever. But you're trying to isolate yourself in a way that lets you have it, and you got your big screen playing your Game Pass games because you are way into the ecosystem. That's who this is for. And I think that is a sizable group, but not sizable enough to make this anything more than a limited edition.
Well, and that's why I think that, the idea is like, ooh, limited time only, not that many, because they know that not that many people are going to buy this.
Yeah. Yeah. You get
So it's like, if you cared, get on it.
It's
because
promotional
We
in
didn't
that
make
way.
a lot of them.
It feels more promotional than an actual service oriented thing. But at the same time, I mean, Nintendo's been pretty well known for slapping every iconic IP onto candy,
Cereal,
cans of
whatever.
sodas, like anything else, and
Yeah, this is like, you know what? That's great, Roger, because this is actually kind of what this is. It's just a higher market priced item. It's a thing that's a little more premium, but it isn't all that different than Xbox saying we're going to be on the next Wheaties box for the next 6 months. Like, it really is more of a promotional thing, but it's promotional in service of their new strategy, which is not only are we going to show you we're everywhere, like by slapping our name on stuff, but also you can play it in all these places.
Yeah,
and I do think
can't
it
play
does go to
anything
that.
on the Wheaties box.
Correct. Nobody's playing, not maybe Doom, because that's always a joke that you can play Doom
yeah,
on everything.
that's
But
probably true.
but you're never gonna see. You're never gonna see.
It's
like
probably some sort of game that somebody is like, no, you can on a Wheaties box.
Somebody somewhere knows a
Couple
way.
drumsticks.
Don't know how you're gonna make it work. But anyway, the bottom line for me is this is really mostly a marketing decision. But all of these recent moves, I think even the Asus Ally X are all moves in that area that serves the strategy of play our games everywhere. Game Pass is Xbox. Xbox is no longer just the thing under your TV. And I think this just is one more cog in those wheels. I think we're going to see more of this. And I think it's fascinating, actually, to see them go this direction, because I don't know that anyone predicted they would, except themselves a year ago when they told us they would.
Well, Roger, another fascinating thing is the fact that a lot of people say, you know what? We like Windows 10. We don't want to upgrade. Last year, Microsoft said consumers could pay $30 a year for security updates after Windows 10's end of life on October 14th, which has been moved up, here and there. But it might be more complicated than that.
Yeah, so Microsoft, they're not changing the end of life date for Windows 10. It's still October 14th. But what they're offering is, say, $30 is per year, and it's really just an additional year if you're a consumer, for updates, security updates for Windows 10, because for some reason, hardware-wise, or perhaps you just have a fondness for Windows 10, you don't want an upgrade. Microsoft is getting two other options. One is to basically sign up for a service called Windows Backup. Now, Windows Backup backs up, as it sounds, backs up key folders, apps, settings, and credentials to the cloud via Microsoft's own cloud storage service, OneDrive. Now, OneDrive is free up to 5 gigabytes. Now, if you have more than that, which most people probably do, you're going to have to pay. Third option is to redeem 1,000 Microsoft reward points, and then you can enroll into the ESU, which is the Extended Security Updates Program, which is normally $30. And you get these reward points every time you use your Microsoft account to purchase things or do, in some cases, Bing searches. Now, this seems like a very long way to avoid upgrading to Windows 11, considering Windows 11 for most people is a free upgrade. Now, you can say what you want. I mean, I'm using Windows 11 right now, but underneath it's still Windows 10. But this could very well be Microsoft's attempt to kind of push and control people and maybe hand out a larger carrot this time for those who think $30 is too much. But how many of you have actually upgraded to Windows 11? And if you haven't, why not?
I did just because, I don't know. I don't know why I did, to be honest. I have friends that will never move off 10. They tell me they're never going to move off 10. I'm just not one of those people that cares that much, and maybe it's a little too trusting on my part because I don't love Windows 11, but I definitely upgraded. It seems fine. I'm not having like big issues or anything. So
I didn't upgrade on my old Alienware because it wasn't one of the ones that Microsoft would let you do easily. And I was like, you know what? I just don't feel like doing the dance to figure out how to get the upgrade because Microsoft doesn't want me to. So I stayed on Windows 10 for a while, but then I got a new one a year ago. which had a Windows 11. So I was one of those people who never have made the decision. I stayed on Windows 10 till I got a new PC, and it just happened to be in that window.
Yeah, I feel I could be wrong about this, but I think that Microsoft is probably busying themselves on the OS front to figure out ways to monetize the OS in a way that isn't just ever, because they're not like Apple in this one way. Apple sells a computer and it's got Mac OS on it, and when a new version of Mac OS comes out, you just get it. It's not a big deal. But guess what? They made money off you, a considerable amount of money, when you bought the hardware. So they've already got this built-in rotation of how they're going to make you a regular paying customer, cash flow, and they've got their ecosystems and everything else. Well, in Microsoft's case, they don't necessarily have the same pattern. They have some of the ecosystem stuff, some of the subscriptions and Office 365 and Game Pass and some of these other things. They add up, but they don't have the hardware rotation that they used to have, because you would pay for every upgrade back in the day, and you don't now.
This is the great double-edged sword for Microsoft for decades, really pushing the backward compatibility, right? Like, you can always upgrade. Even your PC is a little bit on the older side, you can upgrade. Well, with Windows 11, they really put their foot down especially with security. So you have to have a TPM 2.0 compatible module. Now, any machine typically made after 20 or after 20 is it 2009? Yeah, around 2009, 2010. Usually has it comes with it, whether you have an AMD or an Intel machine. And so there's a huge list of compatible processors. Half of my old equipment doesn't support it. So yeah, it wasn't going to upgrade anyway. And it's not like you're short on CPU power. Like you could easily run it. You just need that security, the trusted protection module in order to enable some of the features like BitLocker, which encrypts your drive. But what I found is that in many cases, going up to Windows 11 wasn't bad as long as the hardware supported it. It wasn't an issue. It's really just when you have an older laptop and you do not want to buy a new machine just to upgrade to Windows 11. And I can see that being a friction point for a lot of people until it's such time.
That would have to be a 16-year-old laptop? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, I've known people who've used 12-year-old iMacs because, hey, it works still, and I don't need to pay.
I have probably 15-year-old.
I'm just saying it's not unreasonable for.
Oh no, I don't.
It's actually new for Microsoft to say, well, if we require TPM support for the upgrade, it's not going to affect that many laptops, because for a long time people didn't keep laptops for more than 3 or 4 years just because they would get slow and old. It's only recently that the life extension of PCs has gotten long enough for this to become a problem. I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing it this time.
Yeah, and it's kind of, I think the other one is people have just been so used to being lackadaisical about Windows upgrades, right? You hear the horror stories. I'm still on Windows XP, or heaven forbid you're running a 95. You get those weird stories once in a while. But what I noticed with a lot of Windows 11, it's something a little more, I don't know, visceral. Like I'm being forced to upgrade my hardware in order to do this. Other than, I can upgrade, but the experience is so much less. I might as well upgrade because I need a faster CPU or I need a GPU that can accelerate the Windows windowing interface. And it's weird. I think people, this is beyond reason more of an emotional thing. It's like, no, I'm not going to do it, even though it's free. Like, it's free.
If they hadn't renamed it to Windows 11, because remember they were like Windows 10, it's the last Windows, and then they decided to go to 11. If they had just kept calling it Windows 10, do you think people would have that emotional reaction to the second half 2025 update?
That's a really good question. Probably not. Like, if they'd have kept 10, I actually think they should have. I don't know. They
should have. It's still Windows 10 underneath. That's the thing.
I think they could have. I really do think. I've always wondered why they didn't do this.
Really, just a name.
Just do your little updates. Bring in your major features. Just treat it like a platform now. It's a platform, and build on it. I don't need another version.
It has been for a long time. Yeah, the naming stuff. Almost. I don't know. We see a lot of companies trying to sort of reimagine the naming conventions of various software updates and this and that, and I'm like, I just don't know how much
So
it matters.
this is the thing. Apple can force people because they switch hardware. So when they moved from Intel to Apple Silicon, it's like you're getting a quantum leap in performance. You're not
But
just.
they also didn't force people. They kept supporting the old Intel Macs for a long time.
So they had this overlap. But the idea is, if I'm upgrading the hardware, it's not just because I need the new OS. I'm getting a performance benefit. I'm getting an experience that means things run faster, things run cooler. I don't need a loud fan. I get better battery life. There's all these contingent things. Microsoft is just the software side. They can't really, dictate, unless you bought a Surface.
Microsoft is a cloud company. Let's make sure we position ourselves right, because they're not making the money off Windows anymore. They're making the money off Azure. So it's almost against their best interests to have this be a problem, because people are less likely to use OneDrive and other cloud-based stuff if they're not using Windows. And so they should be wanting people to use Windows even if it's old.
Yeah, and that,
I think they really do think that this is a security issue and a support issue. It's costly for them to support older versions of Windows.
And remember, if you sign up for Windows Backup, getting the 1 year is free. Unless you go over
which I think is just a way to try to upsell you to cloud services.
Oh, yeah. No,
which is
totally.
why they're
It's
doing
totally
it, right?
what it is.
Yeah.
It's the undercoat on my car.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, it is time to figure out what you are thinking about the show. And one way we do that is in the mailbag.
In fact, Josh had some thoughts on our Google Earth Street View discussion from yesterday. We were talking about going back in time on Google Earth. Josh wrote, similar to Tom using Street View to check out places before he goes, I frequently do the same for accessibility reasons. If there's a business or place I'm interested in visiting, but they don't have accessibility information on their website, I can quickly look at Street View to see if they have a ramp or flat entrance or stairs, and can save myself a phone call with someone who may not know accessibility all that well. I've called restaurants to confirm accessibility and been told, yes, no problem. And when asking again, so no steps, they reply, only 2. A picture is worth 1,000 words.
Oh, Josh, I'm with you on this. I mean, accessibility, fortunately for me, not a huge issue, but I have a very dear friend who this is like 2 stairs is very different than no stairs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I actually met up with Josh in Tokyo and used Google Street View to figure out how to get to the place that I was meeting him. And I can't remember if he said he used Google Street View to figure out how to get into the place we met, but there was an elevator and a whole situation there. So, but yeah, thank you again, Josh, for meeting me there, by the way. That was really fun.
Oh, very cool. Glad you guys were able to meet up.
Yeah.
Josh is, longtime supporter of the show. Speaking of Google Earth, Anon Jr. also added to the conversation, I wonder how many kids look at a globe, like a physical globe, and think, somebody 3D printed Google Earth. 20 years of Google
That's
Earth
funny.
made me feel old enough thinking about the globe that I had with the USSR, East and West Germany, Czechoslovakia, among other things, that pinned me as a child of the 80s and 90s, made me feel even older. Anon Jr., sorry for doing that, but we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
I grew up with a globe that had South Vietnam on it.
Oh, my. That's
And
amazing.
my parents never replaced it.
My globe was
Yeah.
just Pangea. It
I was going to say, I'm so old, I got Pangea. Nothing had changed.
My childhood globe, because I guess we all had one. It was definitely USSR. That was that's what it was. And I remember it was as I went through school and got older and things changed. I was like, oh, there's all these countries. Oh, wow. I thought it was all just one big thing.
I've got Eileen's old globe here, and it's USSR, Yugoslavia.
Oh, is
all
it?
that stuff.
Oh, it's so cool. I wish I had an older one. I have a newish
No,
one.
isn't that fun?
That's
it's
cool.
like, no, we didn't 3D print these things. These actually were things that we got for Christmas way back in the day.
My daughter's got a Middle Earth one from Lord of the Rings. It's
Oh,
pretty
that's
cool.
cool. I like that.
Oh, that is cool.
I didn't realize Middle Earth was round.
I didn't either. I was seemed like a big slab. Didn't
It's flat. Everybody knows it's flat.
I'm a flat Middle Earther.
Flat Middle Earther.
Well, if you've got an old globe or you have any just thoughts that we have sparked, through our conversation today, remember, send your comments into feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You make the show better. We can't do it without you. Of course, the patrons, shout out to you. You can always comment on anything that we post to Patreon too, and that comes back into the show as well. Scott Johnson, you are a great part of the show. Whether you've got an old globe or a new globe or anything in between, what is new in your world?
Well, we just launched on the Frog Pants Network a brand new show called The Medical Show. And yes, it may be confusing to TMS fans. We now have 2 shows with the initials TMS, but that's okay. Actually 3 if you count the Monday show. But anyway, The Medical Show, brand new show with myself and an actual board certified doctor.
A bird doctor.
The birds are way into him.
So
His name is Dr. Jerry Tolbert. He's been
he's a
practicing. Yeah, he's a human. He looks a little birdish, but no offense. But he has been at it for 20 plus years as a physician and has had a lot of experience in the area of family health and personal health and dealing with the healthcare system and insurance and everything else. So we are tackling all that stuff in the best way we can. We're going to talk about what it means to live in a modern society where medical issues are at an all-time high, but so is some of the innovation. How do we reconcile that? Where do we meet in the middle? All those kinds of issues, arguments, and problems. We're going to tackle it all. First episode's up. You can go find it right now at themedical.show or anywhere you get your podcasts. Just look for The Medical Show.
I highly recommend it. I got the pleasure of chatting with Dr. Jerry at TMS Vegas this year quite a bit. And I think it was him that kind of put it in my head, like, it's not that your doctor doesn't take your insurance. It's that your insurance doesn't cover your doctor.
Right.
So don't blame the doctor.
Yeah,
The
there's a
insurance company
perspective
won't
thing.
work with them.
Absolutely. And it's those kinds of perspectives that we're going to, we're going to dig into that stuff because I think a lot of people are confused about it or afraid of it. So that's the job. I'm the dumb guy asking questions. He's the smart one answering them. Check it out.
Fear no more. Love it. All right, let's check in on those titles. First has fallen down to be the number 6 title on our votes at the moment. It is outdistanced by Roger Finally Has Pants.
Thank God.
I know.
Oh,
We've all
gee.
been
I mean,
worried.
do we need to keep going? No. GPEG84 suggested Ultra Everything.
I like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's pretty
And
good.
then Flat Middle Earther is rising fast as well.
Flat milk. Oh, it surpassed finally. Roger finally has
It
pants.
just jumped in jumped in front of pants.
People don't want my legs, don't want my drumsticks to be covered.
No, I don't.
2 drumsticks.
What are you talking about?
Roger's delicious meaty
Keep the
drumsticks.
pants off, Roger. That's what Scott wants.
Yeah,
My goodness.
indeed.
There's a lot of Roger's pants related title suggestions in here. That time Roger was able to buy pants.
I mean, listen, Clint Woodward had a great one with Waist Up Tech News.
Waist up tech news.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying that I am wearing pants, but if I weren't, you would not know. Nobody would know.
Nope.
And it
How
is
would we know?
summer, after all. Come on,
I mean,
air it out,
it
everybody.
isn't
It's
the
fine.
Xbox that buckled the camel's back from Sir ATW.
You got your Xbox in my meta from G. James B.
That's pretty good. Pretty
Oh my
good.
goodness.
The size of your mic drops.
Oh,
Clay Thomason.
yeah.
Windows 10 Infinity and beyond.
That's funny.
I like that
Really
one.
good, Sarah.
That's fun.
It's very
God, there's so many good ones. Sarah, which one are we picking?
Well, it was a tough choice today, but E. Clay Thomason is our winner today with the size of your mic drops.
All right. Thank you, E. Clay Thomason. And thank you, everybody who submitted the titles. Also, thanks to the folks watching us on LinkedIn, watching us on YouTube, watching us on Twitch. We got some folks to thank on Twitch specifically, including the Pack NW Fallstar, who was gifting people tier 1 subs during Android Faithful last night. Technomensch cheered us with some bits. PC Milesy did too, and so did Zoe Brings Bacon. Thanks, everybody, for supporting us, including the folks who support us at patreon.com/DTNS.
Indeed. Well, if you need a snazzy gift for a coworker, a colleague, somebody that likes the show, that you know they like the show, we have dozens of ideas at dailytechnewsshow.com/store. You can pick up a mug, a t-shirt, a mouse pad, all sorts of stuff with our new DTNS Live logo, which we're very excited about. It's a fun conversation piece. They're great gifts and great way to support the show. Also, if you are so inclined, if you're like, you know what, I had a fun conversation with somebody because I was holding a DTNS mug and they wanted to know more about what that is about. If you want to take a photo and send it to us, we would really appreciate it. Lots of fun there. Reminder, we do the show live Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2000 UTC, and you can find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live. Back to it all again tomorrow with 5 simple rules to make sure that your Internet of Things doesn't turn into an Internet of Poop. With Will Smith joining us. He's got the knowledge. Talk to you then.
The DTNS family of podcasts, helping each other understand.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.